Welcome to the very beginnings of the new Frontington and Backwards Railway. These boards, which I made in a previous episode, are now installed on top of the subframe. I didn't manage to get a lot of footage of that build process, so let me just quickly show you around. Come a little closer. Come on. No? Oh, fine, I'll move the camera then. The main structure is effectively a ladder frame, using a relatively lightweight wood. And for the most part, it's holding up really well. For the legs, I'm using slightly thicker wood, recovered from the base of my old layout. Eagle-eyed viewers may notice that this new layout is slightly higher off the ground than the old one, and that's quite deliberate. For the original layout, I used these IKEA table legs, which are perfect for a table, but for a model railway, they felt a bit short. I was always bending down to get a decent view of the scene. So after a bit of trial and error, I've settled on a height from floor to ground level of about 108 centimetres. Which means I can sit on a chair and have a comfortable viewing angle. One feature I have been able to pull over from those IKEA legs is the adjustable feet. I drilled out a hole in the bottom of each leg, fixed a nut in the end, and screwed the feet in. Since my layout is in a garage, the floor isn't exactly smooth and level, so having this adjustability will be really useful. The legs have been strengthened with various supports to keep it all upright. This wasn't part of the original plan, but I knew they were needed when the whole thing nearly fell over on top of me. Lesson learned. I actually still need to fix the frame to the bench at the far end, and I need to build the boards for the fiddle yard too, but that'll happen shortly. You may be wondering what this is all about. Let's just call it making the best of a bad situation. I knew as soon as the wood was delivered that this might be a problem, because I could see straight away that not all of it was completely straight. For the most part, I've been able to mitigate that by the way I've used the wood elsewhere, but this piece in particular was always going to be problematic because of the way it was warped. This just happens to be the least problematic position for it. And I can always put some padding in there to support the board if necessary. It's the age-old mantra of ignore it and hope it doesn't become a massive pain in the neck further down the line. We'll see how that works out. That brings me on to this little problem. Can you see that? It's not much, but there's about a 1mm gap between the height of this board and the height of that board. Now, before you get on your high horse and start accusing me of being an awful carpenter, let me just remind you what that wood looked like. I'm just doing the best with what I've got. As you can see, the wood is more or less flat at this end, just not over there. And that's not down to shoddy workmanship, that's just the material I was working with. Probably. In any case, I'm going to need to fix this because track will be running over that join. As a reminder, my plan is to make each of these boards independently removable. So once the track is in place, I'll cut it along these join lines. But to make sure that both ends still line up after that, I'll need to put some padding underneath the track to bring it up to the right height. And I'll probably extend that a little way this way, so that the bump isn't too severe. I want the join itself to be as flat as possible. Well, that didn't work. To be honest, I think it was a little bit over-optimistic to expect that that was going to sort out this problem. So instead, what I'm going to do is sand it down so that it is all the right height along there. A bit more work, but hopefully the result will be better. Yeah, that's much better. And there we have it. The boards are complete, the transitions are nice and smooth, and it's nice and stable. You'll notice I've not spent a lot of time telling you how I'm doing all of this. I mean, let's face it, this isn't a woodworking channel, and I'm no expert, so don't take any of this as best practice. But hopefully you found this mildly entertaining at least. The next step will be starting to lay track, which should be much more up our street. So tune in next time for something a little less woodworky and a little more model railway-y. Railway-y? That's not even a word. Anyway, see you there.